This week on Intrigued Full Effect.
Me as being his big sister, I have to do that. Like, that's something I have to do for my mom and for my brother because he needs that justice. He deserves it.
I'm Chandrea Thomas, and welcome to episode 59. In this podcast, I talk about curious cases, disappearances, and other stuff. And today I'm talking about the disappearance of 19-year-old Keith Johnson from Bell Ridge, Missouri, a small town right outside of St. Louis. According to reports, the Flo Valley Community College student was last seen in class on October 19th of 2011. Then later that night, Keith was last seen walking along Madison Avenue in the early morning hours after leaving his Bell Ridge home. A family member says that one of the last people Keith spoke to was one of his cousins, and that cousin's number was dialed on October 20th. It was also the last time anyone had contact with that phone. Another note is that after Keith disappeared, someone used his phone several times and started checking his voicemails between the dates of October 21st and the 26th, and then nothing. There are also rumors in the streets that Keith had recently had a fight and had about $5,000 in cash in his pocket because he was about to buy a car. His sister Kiara Jones says his phone pinged months after his disappearance. I spoke to Kiara about her unending search for justice in her brother's disappearance, and I reached out to the city of Bell Ridge about the case. This is what happened. Tell me what happened. How did you know that your brother was missing? When did this occur? How did you find out?
Well, it was 2011, back in October. He was living with me. The last day I had seen him was it was on a Thursday. He came to my house that morning, and he had dropped something off, but he had came and left quick. So after that was the last time I seen him. So then Friday, I ended up calling his phone, and it went straight to the voicemail. So I was just thinking, maybe his phone did, or, he don't want to talk or something. So later on that day, I ended up calling again. It's still going to the voicemail. So I'm just like, okay, maybe he'll stop by the house, because he always comes to the house and check on me and the kids. So Friday went past, still no answer. So the weekend went past, still no answer. It's still going to the voicemail. So then my kid's cousin, who he was going with at the time, she ended up knocking on my door maybe like 7 o'clock in the morning, that Monday morning. It was like, something is wrong. Like, we need to go find Keith or whatever. So I ended up getting the kids ready, put them on the bus for school, and then we ended up going out to Kinloch and asked the people like, hey, have y'all seen Keith or whatever? And everybody was saying like the last time they seen him was on Lurch. I ended up calling my older sister and was like, hey, can you see like if his classmates seen him, at school or something, because he was enrolled in Flo Valley College. So she was like, all right, I'm going to call around. I'm going to ask around and I'm going to call you back. So I want to say she called me like within the next 20 minutes, and she was like, his classmates ain't seen him since last Thursday, the same day. The last time I seen him was Thursday morning. So I'm like, what the heck? So everybody ended up coming out, to Kinloch on Lurch or whatever, and was just saying like they haven't seen him and all that. But then my cousin said that he seen him with my other two cousins.
So he was supposedly seen with these other two cousins. Is this like two dudes or two females?
Yeah, two guys, yes.
Two guys. Okay, so he was seen, they saw him over on this street with the other two cousins, and then what happens after that?
And then after that, then me, my big sister, her guy, we went up, and my kid's cousin, we end up going up to my grandma's house, and she stayed on Henley at the time. And then my big sister like, Grandma, we gotta file a missing person report because Keith is missing. This all happening on Monday morning. All this happened Monday morning. So my granny was like, it hasn't been 24 hours yet, so we can't, file one yet. So my sister ended up taking it upon herself, and she ended up going to the police department and filed one. And then after that, we was just doing searches every day and no answers.
Wow. Okay. So let's just kind of get some perspective here too. Let's just get the timeline in order again. So the last time you saw him was on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
A Thursday, Friday goes by, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the girlfriend comes knocking on your door like, "Hey, I haven't seen him." And like, I'm assuming he's had contact with you guys. Normally, it would be like on a regular
Right.
daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so at this point, the missing persons report is filed. What happens after that? Do you guys continue searches? Do you get
Yes.
media coverage? What happens with that?
So we end up getting some flyers made and we started like putting them out. But when we was putting them out, people was taking them down.
Why would somebody take his posters down?
I have no idea, but people was taking them down.
Wow.
So we
Okay.
was just every day we'll just do searches and we still like get no answer or nothing. Like we was getting like a runaround.
So what were the police telling you as far as their investigation of him? Was there anything going on as far as them like trying to look for him or anything like that? Or did they say he was an adult and he can do what he wants? Like what happened when you guys actually spoke with them?
Well, the police came out one time and that's when we was on the street Warwick.
Hmm.
That was the only time they came out. But we didn't really get to search because like it was all chaos had broke out and the police ended up making everybody leave. So we didn't even get to search. But the police always told us nobody, no case. That's what they always told us. Like they never like fully helped us on searching for my brother. I don't know if it's because his background when he was younger. I don't know, but they never really helped us.
Wow.
We
Okay.
basically like did all the information, the investigation on our own.
So your brother, he did have like a past where he was involved with things, right? Just so people understand the background of what's going on. And why would somebody say to you, nobody, no case, which is kind of like way out of bounds,
Right.
straight up. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Just to give some perspective, your brother, he was had troubles when he was a younger dude, and then he started
Mm-hmm.
going to college and was trying to turn his life around
Right.
at the time. Is that
Right.
what's going on?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So with that being said, do you think any of those things from the past kind of followed him? Or do you think it's just something that was relatively new happening in his life? Because it sounds like he was starting to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, he was like my brother, he was caring, loving, like very protective of my mom, his sisters, like my kids, because I'm the sister with all the kids. So he was very protective with his family. He was very family oriented. Like he was all about his family. So this him just being gone, that's not like him. That's not like him at all.
Mhm. So at this point, what do the streets say? What can you say about what the streets have told you? Because the streets always talk. I say this to people all the time.
Exactly.
They always
Exactly.
talk, and there's always maybe a little truth to what bits and pieces of it. So,
Hmm.
what do you know, or what can you say about that without compromising anything?
Well, we was told that he got killed and buried
Hmm.
in Kinloch.
Okay. And you guys haven't been able to. There's been no investigation or anything with regarding that tip or that lead or anything like that.
Nope, nothing at all.
Okay, so what about this whole thing I saw on Facebook about when I was researching the case, I saw some information that said he was buying a car, he had a lot of money on him. Do you think he may have been robbed at this point? Like, has anyone, what are people saying about that?
I feel like the robbing part is true, but for us like buying the car, nah. But he did have like supposed to have money on him. That was true.
Let's get into like your brother as a person, right? So you had a very tight relationship with your
Yes,
brother and
very
everything
close.
like that. So tell me, what
Very.
has this been like for you to like, to go through how many years?
Whew,
It's been some years, what has that been like
whew.
for you?
It's been a nightmare. A nightmare. It's just like, am I even living? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like it'll be almost 13 years in October. And we still have no answers or anything. Like the police don't try to help or nothing. And it's just like, where could my brother be? Like, this is not normal. This stuff don't happen like in real life. This is some movie type stuff.
Mhm.
Somebody just go up and just be gone like that. And nobody have no answers, no explanation or anything. But this been a nightmare for me because that was my only brother, like my mama only son.
So that's been rough for
And
all.
it's just like, and like I said, he was like the protective over me, my other sisters, and my mom, because we didn't have no dad growing up. So he was our protector, like over us.
So let me ask you, as far as like, let's get into like different things. Like, did you guys ever get any information about like bank accounts, cell phone pings, anything like that, movement in that situation, social security number, any of that?
Well, from my understanding, his phones are supposed to be with the people that did it to him. So I don't know about no phone. And I know they did go up to get his phone record from where he was getting his phone service through. They end up going to get his phone record from the man.
Okay, so at least the police do have that information. I'm saying investigators, they do have that. And so, and here's the other part of it too, I want to get some clarity on, because it's from research and everything that I've learned about this case, it sounds like it was like Belridge, Kinloch, Berkeley. What exactly is the location of what went down in general? Just so I understand, because it's crossing across.
His last location was Kinloch. That was his last location, Kinloch.
Okay, but yet Belridge has the investigation.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why my sister even went to Belridge and reported it to Belridge, because St. Louis County was over. It's over Kinloch, and that was his last where everybody seen him in Kinloch. He was there in Kinloch, not Belridge or Berkeley. Maybe since I stayed in Berkeley and my grandma stayed in Belridge, maybe that's why. But no, his last location was Kinloch.
So that's what I'm wondering, if you guys if you can file with St. Louis County on that.
See, that's what I was trying to do. Like, see if they can like take over it and like let it be their case, because technically his last whereabouts was Kinloch, and they over Kinloch.
That's what I'm saying.
And even at the time of the incident, they was over Kinloch, because I think they had just took over Kinloch around that time.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. So maybe that is still a possibility. That may still be something that you can do to maybe get a little bit more movement. In the case, it wouldn't hurt to, wouldn't hurt to ask about that. So relative, when it gets back to your brother, he was going to school. What was he going to school for?
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice. And, and I'm guessing that you guys at this point are just thinking, hey, he's not here anymore, but we still want to put him to rest. Is that pretty much where you are with it at this point?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Okay, so what would you say to people who may have information about, what happened to your brother, or just a tip, even if they want to do this anonymously, what would you say?
Right. Like, if y'all know something, like, you don't have to say your name, just call and like just help us out. Like, this has been a nightmare for me and my family. Like, I'm so ready for this to be over with so I can move on. I can't move on because I don't have that peace. I don't have that closure with my brother. Like, I just want that peace. I just want the peace and let everything to be over with. So if you know anything or willing to come forward, like, just call the tip number, or hey, you can write me anonymous and tell me, like, just so we can get that closure and we can get the answers that we need, because this has been going on too long.
And that's the thing. There's so many people that are missing, especially like, and that's the hardest part about having a missing person is that, your closure is not there. So you have like, you can't really grieve because you don't have them to really, so you kind of like, are they out there, but are they not out there? It's, you just don't know. So I know that's got to be like the hardest part of all of this. So, and from the standpoint of the people in the community, have folks actually tried to help you guys with the flyers and the posters and things like that over time? Do you guys do anything around, annually for him or anything like that?
Like, we usually like do something for his birthday or like the day everything happened, but lately I haven't even like been in the mood, because it's just like, what are we celebrating? That's just how I look at it. It's just like, what are we celebrating? Like, we don't have him. Like, what are we celebrating?
Wow.
Like, so that's why I do just kind of keep his name alive, on my social media page, just to post his picture or, just to say his name or something like, but for it's like doing stuff for his birthday and stuff, like I don't be into it because it's just like we still don't have them, like we still don't have answers. So it just be like, what's the point?
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, is there something that you want people to take away from your story? If there is one main message out of everything that's happened, I mean, because I mean, there's really been little to no investigation. It sounds like from what
Mhm.
you're telling me. So it's just kind of like you have to just kind of rely on just people to come forward. It sounds like.
Yep. That's basically what it is. Like people just coming forward and just like say what they know. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like if you scared, I understand that because it's like it's a lot. But I mean, you can be anonymous. They don't got to know you said nothing.
Mhm.
We just won't help. Cause it's just like I've been getting a runaround. Like I've been trying my best, trying to like see who can help me to get his story heard. To who can help me to like get on his case and get some answer. And it's just like I just been stuck.
Do you feel like because of your brother's past, or maybe even perceived past of what people may believe was going on with him, do you think
Hmm.
that people see that at him as a throwaway person? I'm being honest with you. Do you feel like that?
I feel like that. I feel like it.
Mhm.
I definitely feel like that. Cause
Yeah.
it's just like he's somebody's son. You know what I'm saying? Like he's somebody's brother. He is somebody. He is a human that matter. And it is just like people acting like he don't matter, and he does matter. Like he deserved justice. He deserved it.
I contacted the city of Belridge about the case, and I found out that it was taken over by Normandy Police, who now handle the city's policing. At this point, they say the case is still an open investigation. Is there anything else that you want to add, or that you want people to know about, or anything like that?
Um, if anybody can like help me, my Facebook name is Kiara Jones. My Instagram is Kiara Marie. You could just inbox me and let me know like things that I can do so I can get help for my brother.
And also, there's like the impact on your family, just in general. How many of y'all? How many siblings is it like in your?
My mama have it's five of us.
So it's
All
five of.
girls and all girls and one boy. He the only boy, the baby boy.
Wow, and I know that there's been some struggles you said with your mom after all this too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Like my mom, she's not in her right state of mind, so she really don't even know like what's going on with her own stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like my mama can't even get justice for her own son because she's not in her right state of mind. So like that's something I have to do for my mom and for my brother because he needs that justice. He deserves it.
When it comes to my final thoughts about this case, I do wonder where Keith was going and if he was trying to see someone during those early morning hours, and exactly who had his phone, who made the calls, and who checked his voicemail. But who knows? Maybe police already had that information and they're just waiting for more evidence. Kiara believes that her brother is no longer alive, but she wants to know where he is so they can get some degree of closure and put him to rest. The thought of him taking off crossed my mind too, but that seems unlikely based on the relationship she says he had. And there's no way he would just drop everything and not have contact with his family. Police say the investigation is still open, and hopefully someone will come forward with details to help the family get justice and information. Keith is around 5'11" and weighs 170 pounds. He was last seen wearing a black jacket and a green shirt with a skeleton on the front. He was wearing dark-colored jeans and lime green Nikes. He also has tattoos. One says R.I.P. Boy on his left arm, and a clown is on his right arm, Marcy on his neck, and the letters FSY on his back. Call 866-371-TIPS if you have information in the case. If you have a case that you want me to check out, just visit the Intrigued Full Effect website or email me at intriguedfulleffect@hotmail.com. Until next time, be safe and stay true. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the Intrigued, Full Effect, Curious Cases, Disappearances, and Other Stuff podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the host. The primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. The host of this podcast assumes no liability or responsibility for any activities in connection with opinions shared in the podcast. The podcast and blog associated with it shall not be used in any legal capacity or as a basis for expert testimony. Any copyright material in the podcast is approved by the owner or as part of the public domain. Music by Pond 5.